I think it was my third or fourth treatment that Kasey decided to do like my stomach area and like go deep in the hip. It was so painful. And so when she pressed, and I can still remember it vividly, she pressed on one part and like I transported back to the hospital at giving birth. It was crazy. My name is Tamara. It kind of started like with my first pregnancy, like a pain in my hip, and then I also over time in my left shoulder. So I think my body just kind of like got out of whack. I went to the OB. They were like, you're fine, this is all normal. And I was like, this is not normal. Then I went to a chiropractor. They were trying to do like upper neck stuff, weren't really focusing on the lower body. What I kept hearing was, this is normal, your body changes during pregnancy, you have to adjust. I had like a lot of frustration, just like, it's not normal, like this doesn't feel normal. And then I went to a physical therapist last year who was a pelvic floor specialty, and that did help me. She kind of confirmed what I felt. My tailbone was flexed to the side, my hips were imbalanced. So I was doing physical therapy exercises that were helping, but it was like, this isn't enough. Like I need something to kind of go deeper than this. So yeah, the PT was the first person who was like, what you're feeling is real. And I was like, thank God. I would have days where if we would go for a long walk, I would feel my whole leg tighten up. I keep telling myself I'm young, but age doesn't apply to this. It just kind of added this level of frustration to most of my daily activities, where it was something in the background that you're aware of, but you're trying not to be aware of it. So it's that like lingering frustration of, why can't I make this go away? I found you guys on Instagram a year and a half ago, and I reached out. I was like, I need to come to you. And from the first visit, I was like, this is the place I need to be at. Kasey is awesome. The first time I saw her, came up to me and said, I'm gonna give you a hug, because I like to give hugs. So I just squeezed her, and great energy just from the get-go. And she listened to me and just knew what I was talking about. She was just able to get it, and then she started figuring out like, what does this feel like? What does this feel like? I call her my spiritual guide and my body healer and my friend, and I just love Kasey. She's great. I think it was my third or fourth treatment that Kasey decided to do like my stomach area and like go deep in the hip. It was so painful. And so when she pressed, and I can still remember it vividly, she pressed on one part and like I transported back to the hospital at giving birth. It was crazy. So in that moment, I don't think I processed what happened for like a couple days after, but okay. I realized that I had, even though I felt so strong giving birth and I wasn't afraid, I was terrified and I didn't realize. Like, you have a natural high after you have a baby, and I was so proud of myself for everything I did that I think I just pushed away that scared feeling and I never thought about it. So anytime anyone asked me, how did it go? You know, I was like, it was great. Like, I'm a beast. I did it. And then that moment, like, unblock that part that I pushed down of like, it was the scariest thing I've ever experienced. And I mean, this was like 2 months ago. So that kind of opened this part of me where I was like, I have to look into that and heal that part. That is confusing because it's such a beautiful feeling. It's such a, I'm full of love. I'm full of pride, like that I'm a mom, that I see my kids, that my body did this. Like, I love my body. And then I'm also just like, how does this happen at the same time? This strength and this fear that kind of like, you know, mesh together.
Do you think that your pain is linked to that fear?
Honestly, yeah. I think emotions are caught in our body. Everything's intertwined, and I think that we're not conscious of 99% of it. You know, I had pregnancy shifts your body, so I'm logically trying to understand what I'm feeling. There's no logic to what happened in that moment. I can't explain that to anybody. You know, Kasey also told me, like, she felt the energy coming out of me. Like, her and Chris can feel the releases from their clients, their patients, things we just have to feel rather than understand. When I first came in, Out of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst, 1 being the best, I was probably like an 8, I think, with the neck, shoulder. And the hip, surprisingly, I think was less. I can't remember exactly, but I think my hip was less than the neck at the start. But then it was when we got into the actual treatments that I realized like my hip is worse than this.
What'd you say today they're at? You had to rate it right now.
Like a 3. I'm averaging a 3.
On both?
On both, yeah. What do I think of Barefoot? I love you guys. Like, I look forward to every Wednesday appointment. It's just like a calm feeling all around, and everyone seems real. Like, you know? It's rare to find a doctor who has emotions invested in their practice now. I think just as a woman, you have to fight for yourself. Like, you have to actually go and find people who will figure out what's going on. From the consult with Kasey, she was listening, she was writing down everything I was saying, even the things that didn't make sense. I think I told her, like, she would ask me like, what aggravates the feeling? And I was like, I have no idea. Like, I'll turn my body and it'll hurt. And she would write it down and just try to understand. And I think it's more also intuitive, or you wanna understand. Maybe that's the difference. Like, you actually want to understand what a patient is saying. So no, I didn't have the typical medical experience when I came here. And that's why I've been coming back every week. I've recommended you to 7 people so far, and 1 has come. My husband, who ended up coming, and he's feeling relief within 2 weeks. I would also recommend you guys to, what I spoke about before, any woman who your body feels different after having kids and you don't really know what's going on and you wanna find out, you wanna kinda get back in control of your body, I would recommend this place.